Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm going to start this off reminding everybody about Masterworks. Links in the top of the description. You can join over 400,000 members in investing in art. And then it says it's the largest buyer of art market. Our track record is 14.3% net of fees since inception through 2019 through 2022. I want to show you a short clip from their CEO. Listen to this.
Future, but we're really just focused on securitizing actual paintings.
So you securitize it and you deal, so the SEC, or you do everything you need to do in that way, and you make money like a hedge fund too, 1.5 and 20.
That's right. So we buy paintings and we file them with the SEC just as you would take a company public. So each individual work of art is a public company that we're selling shares in, and we now have investors trading shares on the secondary market as well. Our big news this morning actually is we've just raised $110 million from a firm called Left Lane, who led around at a valuation in excess of $1 billion. So the business is really taking off. I mean, we're seeing hundreds.
Okay, so pretty darn cool. But the link to that will be in the description at the top. Now, talk about an interesting tweet. Look at this one from TAIG. He's got this. Andreessen Horowitz had an account activated by Musk November 30th. Everything I'm showing you right here is all the world's a stage file. November 30th, 2013, initial balance 5 million XRP. Then if you go, let's see, you go down here, he's got another older thread. Look at this. Musk, these are different XRP wallets. Thiel would be Peter Thiel. We know that Peter Thiel's Founders Fund invested in OpenCoin, which is what Ripple was before it was, or OpenCoin was its own company, and then that was shut, and then they opened Ripple Labs. And then there's Andreessen. Now look down here, this gets even more interesting. Right about here. Look at this one. The SpaceX XRP wallet has some very interesting transaction history. SpaceX Ripple giveaway, June 4th, 2013, 16 million. Look at all of these transactions. So I've said on this channel for a long time that I thought that the PayPal mafia and a lot of them were behind both XRP and XLM, or that it points in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if history says that I'm somewhere close to the target. Then Anders L had a very interesting thread, and I'm going to give you the gist of it. Ripple Liquidity Hub Theory. This is just my speculation regarding bigger picture. I believe it's fundamental for Ripple's long-term strategy regarding XRP. This is what I think he really gets out of this. He said, here's my theory. Ripple have made it a part of their business model not to force financial institutions and enterprise to use XRP, but they incentivize usage. Look at cross-border payments. You don't have to use XRP ODL, but it has massive benefits such as instant settlement and no need to pre-fund. So that's kind of where it's going. Now, let's move along. This is just a little reminder, breaking. Ripple is loading the boat on XRP. This is coming from the markets report that just came out. We mentioned that the other day. Now, the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel has checked in today, and it made me laugh out loud, so I'm going to play it for you.
What's up, fam? Brad's got the chick, Vital.
What he's talking about here is Brad Garlinghouse. There were photos going around of Brad and his, looked like maybe a model girlfriend. So listen to this, it's so funny.
What's up, fam? Brad's got the chick, Vitalik's got the unicorn. Brad's got the tie, Vitalik's got the unicorn. Brad dines with sheiks, Vitalik picks his nose and wipes it on your couch. Brad's got Schwartz, Vitalik's got the unicorn. The choice is yours.
I think that I think the official cool guy must have seen that Vitalik Buterin smart alecky tweet the last 24 hours. Okay, ProCoinNews.com, who did break the story about the Hinman emails coming out. Let me correct that. The massively redacted Hinman emails. Okay, and they said already find. The XRP community never disappoints, already finding much left hidden in plain sight. So everybody's been out there digging, and here's one of the things that was found. So check this one out. They said, I told you when we wrote this article, there's much more in here to data mine than it appears at first glance. So this is a guy, Dr. Kano. I'll give him a follow. He was replying to ProCoin News' original tweet. I just randomly picked a name from this list, Googled it, and look what I found. Why is there someone from BlackRock on this listing? This is Dahlia Blass, okay? And she, I think it's a she, head of external affairs for BlackRock, okay? Let's go back to this. I looked up her, it is a she. I looked up her LinkedIn profile. She's now head of external affairs. She was with the commission until January of 2021, the SEC. Now, that's interesting because the lawsuit against Ripple gets dropped in December of 2020, and then she's out the door just like a lot of them were. The second the lawsuit gets dropped, she leaves. See that? All right, then we've got this. This was my tweet about it this morning, and this guy, CryptoArmour, he said, a quick table of all those involved in the writing of the speech. Comprehensive personal opinion. This is a chart that shows you everybody that was in the email chain on the bill, in the going back and forth at the SEC, the drafts of the Hinman speech. Okay? And these are all the SEC people. I don't know who that is calling me, but anyway, it looks like there's just a ton of SEC people here, folks. You'll see this shows their current position. This one left and is now at Sullivan and Cromwell. Look at the ones that left right around the time after that SEC lawsuit was dropped on Ripple. They left on the first of these, right before that lawsuit was dropped. These two guys left. Right after the lawsuits dropped, this guy that's January 1. That's not true. So this is right after the lawsuit is dropped. This is right before. Let's keep going down, see if there's anybody else. December 2020, that's the beginning of the month. So it's almost, there's a few of them that left, 4 of them, it looks like 5, that left the December 1st, or they resigned, whichever. December 1st, lawsuit gets dropped December 22nd. Go figure. Okay, then this is interesting, and I don't know much about this, okay? Remember a while back when Jimmy Valley had proposed a buyback of XRP, and a lot of people thought that was BS, and that's not really relevant here. James Rule, who was a part of the group that was in conversation about doing all this, the confidential committee with Val Hill Capital, he says he can confirm that this actually happened. And what they're saying here is, the official cool guy said, have you heard that Christine Moy, now remember who Christine Moy was. She was the person that headed up blockchain and quorum for JP Morgan. And she's the one that I've shown in the video sitting right beside Joseph Lubin while he's bragging about how JP Morgan was working with them even before they launched Ethereum. Okay? And so what the cool guy's saying is, have you heard that Christine Moy killed the deal Jimmy Valley proposed for the buyback while at JP Morgan? And James Rule is now saying, yes, I'm on the buyback confidential committee, Val Hill Capital, and I can confirm that this actually happened. So I know nothing about that, folks, but that's one of those, whoa. Well, now I'm going to show you some video of Christine Moy. Okay, and it's important that you understand the video you're about to watch is from the 2nd of December 2020. She's the global head, the Interbank Information Network and Blockchain JP Morgan. Just 20 days later, Jay Clayton will sue Ripple as he walks out the door. And then on the 23rd of February 2021, Jay Clayton joins Apollo Global Board. Then in in April 28, 2022, Apollo Global hires her to lead the digital assets strategy for Apollo Global. Does that give you a bad feeling in your gut? It should. Listen to this. Tell me what company you think of when you hear her describe what JP Morgan was trying to do.
Separately, in the past few weeks, I've also taken on additional responsibility looking after the Link network. Those of you who may be familiar with the Interbank Information Network, it's now been rebranded as Link. And essentially what it is a peer-to-peer network for cross-border payments banks to connect in a peer-to-peer way to exchange information to solve cross-border payments problems. And so one of our first applications was, it's called Resolve. Basically the ability for banks to resolve sanctions exceptions in the cross-border payments process by directly exchanging information like date of birth, address, et cetera, to validate any payment beneficiaries that may have come up on a sanctions list, as an example. But what we're really excited to debut, actually breaking news in the past month, is that we're tech live with a new application named Confirm, which allows the ability to pre-validate a payment, a global payment, before making the payment. And this is actually like something that we got from our Link participants in the past year. This is based off of feedback that we got from our Link participants in the past year that, they were like, oh, Resolve, this is great. Love resolving sanctions exceptions. But what I really want to do is have the ability to validate the account owner or the account status or the account activity or the account FX before I actually even pay that account. And I want to do it globally. I want it for cross-border payments. And so,
yeah, you want it for cross-border payments. Now, I want to make sure before I play this next video, okay? Remember, you've got to understand who was behind closed doors with the SEC in all of these meetings. You had law firms and representatives and members of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. You've seen the list. You had people from Andreessen Horowitz. You had people from Union Square Ventures. You had people from Consensus. You had people from the Ethereum Foundation. All of these people were Ethereum people behind the scenes planning all of this with the SEC. After Bill Hinman gives the Ethereum free pass speech, he then goes to Andreessen Horowitz. We know that Joseph Lubin said that, and remember, JP Morgan's in the Enterprise. JP Morgan helped drive the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance from the very beginning with Consensus, because Joseph Lubin has said it on more than one occasion in videos I've played for you here. So Bill Hinman gives the speech. Bill Hinman later shows up at Andreessen Horowitz. Then Jay Clayton leaves the day he drops the lawsuit on Ripple. Jay Clayton ends up at Apollo Global. Christine Moy, that you're looking at, who ran JP Morgan's blockchain, ends up at Apollo freaking Global. Does any of this smell to high heaven? But we're not done yet. First, I want you to watch this, and then I'll finish tying it in.
And then, specifically as it relates to JP Morgan's implementation of blockchain, we actually are one of the few banks to have almost created our own blockchain protocol, like the underlying technology layer. Essentially, what we did was take the public Ethereum blockchain code base, and we forked it, which meant we copied and pasted it. It was open source. And then we added enterprise technology trappings, but then we also added a private node to enable private transactions between participants in a network. And then for the first time in the history of JP Morgan, we spent a lot of resources on something, and then we gave it away for free. We actually open sourced it back. And so, and actually what was really cool was that there were actually a number of companies that ended up picking up Quorum, now called Consensus Quorum, picking up Quorum and using it and building projects on it as part of their blockchain innovation and discovery. And then when they started getting serious about taking their projects to reality, they would call and say like, hey, I've been using Quorum, like I'm about to sink millions of dollars in this, and we're going to make it real. Like, are you going to be there to support this? And it was only then that we realized that people were actually using Quorum, and we were like, oh, well, someone needs to support this for real. And so actually, in the past few months, we've announced that Quorum has been acquired by Consensus, which is a company that is focused in the blockchain space and especially the Ethereum ecosystem to shepherd for further enterprise use.
Now, do you remember in the video I played for you of Max Kaiser I think it was one of my last two videos, Max Kaiser, where he's ranting and raving about Gary Gensler. He's saying, look, this guy's corrupt. This guy's in the pockets of Wall Street. Well, it always brings me back to the old classic, and it never hurts to watch this thing and really let it sink in what the SEC of the United States of America is. Because I give you Gary Gensler right here after watching all of that. Refresh, here we go. Listen up. You can never hear this enough times.
You mentioned Jamie Dimon, so let's bring it back to Jamie and JP Morgan. What do you think is going to be the thing that they will have to change the most or lose market share and somebody else is going to do better, faster, serve their clients better than?
Now, listen to what he just said, and you can. It's very clear in this video that Tim Draper puts him back on his heels because Gensler is trying his best to not talk about the fact that J.P. Morgan and these guys are going to be up in arms. They're the incumbents and they're going to try to fight this and all that. He's trying to defend it, but think about what Gary Gensler's doing right now. Think about what's going on right now. Right now, Ripple is in a lawsuit that Gary Gensler keeps stalling and stalling and stalling. Meanwhile, just yesterday or the day before, he announces he's doubling his staff to go specifically after exchanges, DeFi, NFT, and all this stuff, right? Well, we haven't seen any evidence of them going anywhere near. Hell, 90% of the NFTs are on Ethereum. He said they were going after lending, not just about Joseph Lubin's out bragging about lending products on Ethereum every day. These people are bragging about it. But he doesn't go after any of the Ethereum. Have you seen any of the lending products being offered by Ethereum? Have you seen Gary Gensler doing enforcement actions against them? No. None. Finish listening.
Morgan or Goldman Sachs.
You can just hear the bankers panicking right now.
But what
feel the panic in their voices. But here's what always happens.
Now, he wants to know. He's asking Tim, how can these guys do this, serve their customers any better than J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs? What does that mean? You know what it says to me? It says because I'm Gary Gensler and I'm about to go after all these crypto exchanges, because how can they do it better than J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, where he spent 18 years? And when you hear Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, it's the same thing. I mean, both of them probably own each other. I mean, that's the way this game works. So there's no question who owns Gary Gensler. No question at all.
The first thing that happens is they try to go, oh, it's nothing. And they did that. I mean, that's with every new industry, every new technology comes along, the powers that be, the incumbents, the status quo, all say, it's nothing. Don't ignore the man behind the curtain. This is nothing. And then all of a sudden it's too big to get in there. They're going, oh my God, I got to face this thing. And then they all line up and they wrap.
Now listen, now they're going to take a stand, okay? Listen to Tim Draper here, because ask yourself this question. Have any of the things that Tim Draper now describes as what the incumbents are going to do to try to stop the startups, think Ripple, listen to all the things he names and ask yourself, Has any one of these things not happened to Ripple? Every single thing he names has happened to Ripple. In many cases, multiple times.
Arms together and they say, we're not letting this happen. And then it keeps going. And then they say, okay, well, let's sue them. Or let's go get the government.
There's another thing.
See, now this is where Gary gets really uncomfortable because he knows he represents the incumbents and he doesn't want them to be bashed too much.
They adopt the technology. I think.
No, that's at the end.
They will adopt this technology.
No, this is the last.
Yeah. Oh, they'll adopt it, but first they'll get the SEC. The incumbents will get the SEC to rig the situation for them. Then they'll get a Gary Gensler in there who will hold off the competition for a while so that they can have a strategic advantage. This is the kind of sick stuff this guy represents.
Thing they do. No,
Yeah, it's like
it's after the press planning.
That's been done to Ripple.
They plant the press stories. They put out lawsuits.
That's been done to Ripple.
They create as much of a fuss as possible.
That's been done to Ripple.
They get their government friends involved.
That's being done to Ripple right now.
And then they go, oh, God, this thing's happening.
You know what I think? I think they're in the, oh, God, this thing's happening stage, but I think that it comes down to percentages. I think Ripple is being held off because they are trying, whoever they is, are trying their best to make sure that they get as much of a percentage of this thing as the world changes over to digital as possible. I think this really all comes down to percentages. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that this is some dirty business going on in the United States of America.